Yeah, look man, best up on yourself and thanks for being here again. Happy to be here again, doing this video again. Each and every one, thanks for taking the time out to watch this video. Good day to each and every one. But best up on yourself again. My pleasure, my salute. But I'm here to talk about some reggae boy players. Some players that are taking part in Europe competition at this moment. You're talking about Euro competition, the UEFA Champions League qualification run, the Europe Conference League qualification run, and I'm going to talk about a very interesting one, Dexter Lembikisa. So right after this, I will jump into it. Look, where should I start from this one, man? I saw a report, right after the game, where they said that Dexter Lembikisa is on trial at Charlton Athletic, and I'm like, okay, Dexter Lembikisa, our young promising player. Dexter is what, 2021, somewhere right there. He's on trial at the moment at Charlton Athletic, and they played a non-league club at the other day, and Dexter Lembikisa came on and he played the final 20 minutes of the game, where he slot in to play a right centre back role, and sometime played in a right wing back. That team played 3-5-2, 3-4-3, wherever you want to put it, but it's always 3 at the back from Nathan Jones. And the manager came out and said that he's shopping for a centre forward and he's shopping for a right back. He's still looking to add pieces in his team, and we are already Kerry Anderson, we have Kahim Dixon, we have Tyrese Campbell, we have Amari Bell. That's 4 players. And guess what? Mothersill almost join up with Charlton Athletic as well. That could have been 5. And also the Addicts, the Charlton Athletic team, still pinching and peeping over the fence under Jonathan Russell. Yes, it's still an option, but at this moment it seems like that's not going to happen at this moment, as they snapped up all their midfield players, and I don't know if they will ever go for John Russell in this window. But again, their main priority in this window, it is centre forward and a right back, and at this moment Dexter Lembikisa is on trial. What you guys really think of a Dexter Lembikisa is on trial at Charlton Athletic? I don't know. I mean, look, when I heard of a player in this modern time is on trial, an established player like Dexter Lembikisa, someone that, went out and loan a few times, last season, it wasn't his best. Yes, just get to the reality. Well, last season, it wasn't his best, and maybe if he has to go out on trial and prove Nathan Jones that he worth a contract, he worth the time, you see that it's going to be a loan deal. I think his contract will up next summer, or if it's not 2026, it's 2027. But is it worth it to go on a trial and then it will be a loan deal? I don't know, man. But I mean, this is where Dexter Lembikisa career is at the moment. Our main right back at this moment speaking. He is our main right back player and national player, a player that who have scored a goal in a Nations League semi-final versus the Panamanian team, is on trial at a championship club. I mean, we saw him went to a team in Switzerland. I think after the September, the main window closed in Europe. He played out. He managed to get on the pitch a few times for that football club. They recall him. It wasn't his best. He was getting a lot of injury. He went to Barnsley. He wasn't the main right back. He was coming on in a lot of games. So the loan spells that he spent last season on loan, it wasn't the best, for the 2 clubs. Before that, it was a successful loan season. You went to Rotterdam, a team that, team that will always defend at that time in the championship. Loan spell cut short, went to Scotland between January and May. He played Europe football. He played really well at the time for Arch as well. So that was a successful year. 2023, 2024 was very successful loan spell. No, but listen, 23-24 season, successful season, but they had a plan for him. Now I'm looking at it. Do they still have a plan for Dexter Lembikisa? But he's on loan. What you guys really think of Dexter Lembikisa is on our main right back? He's an established international player playing for the Reggae Boy day in and day out every time when we have an international break. He's always in the squad. He's always around, and for him to be on to be and then for him to be on trial. That one doesn't really sit well for me, to be honest. Dexter Lembikisa is out on trial. But I mean, that's where his career is at the moment. And to me, if you ask me, over the last couple of seasons, or especially the last one, the trajectory for Dexter Lembikisa is going down at this moment. Is going down, and a championship team is easily supposed to snap up a potential player like that who have a very good potential that can grow into his potential and can be in an established championship club, and he can be an established championship player as well, and maybe can be on one of those championship teams that who lucky to have a good season and make a Premier League promotional, and then he could find himself playing in the Premier League. But again, man, Dexter Lembikisa is on trial at Charlton Athletic. That can be the 5th Jamaican that Nathan Jones, will snap up in his tenure at Charlton Athletic as his time, is running really good at this moment. The team is going into the right direction. But let's see if Dexter Lembikisa will be the 5th reggae boy to play for the team at this moment. But again, moving on, I'm talking about some players that currently playing in Europe top competition, the Conference League, and also the UEFA Champions League qualification round, and goes by Kahim Paris. Kahim Paris scored a goal. His team got knocked out a few weeks ago playing in the Europa League qualification round. Now they dropped down into the conference, and his team took a massive 2-0 lead. He scored, and he came on around in the pitch in the last 20-25 minutes, and he got his moment and he took his opportunity. But before his last 2 games, he was sitting on the bench, and I was like, Europa qualification round. This was a player that constantly playing for the first team since he arrived from Dynamo Kiev, playing in Azerbaijan for Sabah Baku. And it was a little bit surprised for me not seeing Kahim Paris playing in the last couple of games in the Europa League qualification round. And it goes again where I said the player might be on the move. Yeah, the player might be on the move, but he signed a long-term deal at the club, and he already gone 3 seasons at this moment. So there's a couple more seasons left back on his contract. So I mean, there was speculation that the player might be on the move. I don't know as yet. I don't see any more stories of him, if that story is building up or anything is in the advanced stage. But at this moment, Kahim Paris, he's still at the Azerbaijan team. He scored yesterday, and I mean, good goal. He took his opportunity. Let's see if he can start in the home leg. Then I think the team that they played, I think the team is in Moldova, a team from Moldovan Premier League. So let's see if the return leg next week Thursday, he can actually start in that game where his team will have a 2-0 lead advantage, from away from home, going into the game at home next week in Azerbaijan. But again, another player, Ronaldo Webster, is playing in the UEFA Champions League qualification round where he's been playing minutes. This is his 3rd game in a row in the UEFA Champions League qualification round. And we remember when Ronaldo Cephas played the Champions League qualification, the Europa League qualification, the Conference League qualification, where he actually scored 4 goals in a game before, when his team won 5-0 on the day when he was playing for the North Macedonian team Skopje. So I mean, we've seen reggae boy players playing in this competition over the last couple of years, more and more, and these are the stuff that you really want to see from reggae boy players, and from the players leaving the JPL, going in not mainland Europe, but at least some of these smaller countries, getting the opportunity. And I must say, even goes back to Kahim Paris. He played in this competition last season where he scored a goal as well. He scored on, I think, MACCABI HAIFA, the same club that Trivante Stewart is playing for at this moment. So he scored in the competition in back-to-back season. And Ronaldo Webster, his team take a massive away win away from home in the UEFA Champions League, where his team shouldn't win. I think his team is from, I think it's the Serbian team. So I don't know if it's a Serbian team, but Ronaldo Webster team. If I'm mind sharp, it's not in Serbia, but at this moment I should have tell you guys where the team is located. But my bad, my apology. I will put it up on the screen. But his team actually played a team in Belarus, and they took a 1-0 lead moving away, and it's a surprising one for them. And Trivante Stewart also made his debut, where MACCABI HAIFA, his team drew on the day. And I must say, look, his debut came a little bit in a surprising action for me. I didn't expect him to make his debut so early in his career for the Israel team. And I mean, again, another striker is playing in Europe top flight competition in the early qualification round. And look, it's a very good thing to see, the reggae boy players, over the years, probably over the last 3-4 years, been having players playing in these type of early segments in the UEFA Champions League, the Europa League, and also the Europa Conference League. Kahim Paris as well for Dynamo Kiev played a game in the Europa League group stage as well. So Ronald Asif has been knocking on the door when it comes down to these early rounds in Europe, early competition qualification rounds. So that's all I have to say. Let me know what you guys think about, especially about Dexter Lembikisa, who is on trial at this moment for Charlton Athletic. He could be the 5th reggae boy player playing for that club team, going into the new championship season. But let's see what's going to happen. If he doesn't sign for Charlton Athletic, will that be a disgrace for an established international player not to snap up on a trial for Charlton Athletic from Wolverhampton? It seems like a move away from Wolverhampton should be permanent at this moment. There shouldn't be any more loan deal, as Wolverhampton don't have any plans for Dexter Lembikisa to break through the first team in the Premier League. So at this moment, it should be a move away permanent for the reggae boy player. But again, what's your decision and what's your takes on Dexter Lembikisa, who is on trial at Charlton Athletic at this moment, trying to get a contract to play in the championship season coming up in a few weeks from now? Shout out, people. Bless up on yourself. Hope you have a wonderful weekend going into, from the Friday into the Saturday, the Sunday. Bless up on yourself. I'm out.